Shalom and welcome back to Keren B'Yavneh. After a separation of more than 20 years from his brothers, Yosef tells them, Ani Yosef. The brothers presumably accepted this with mixed emotions. On one hand, in light of the fact that they had expressed regret over having sold Yosef, they were probably pretty joyful. On the other hand, they probably felt a great amount of embarrassment and shame, and perhaps more than that, even fear of Yosef's reaction. But nevertheless, Yosef tells them, Al te'etzvu, lo atem machartem mosihayna kiyem Elokim. How was Yosef able to overcome the natural urge to take revenge? So first and foremost was based on Yosef's understanding that everything that was happening over here was part of a divine plan. Beyond that, Yosef had testified about himself, Es Elokim ani yareh. The pasuk tells us, Vayar Adonav ki Hashem ito. God was with him, and as Rashi explains, Shem Hashem shagur b'fiv. Yosef felt a very strong, real connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and knew that the kind God would only do what's best. He understood, Kol maid abd Rahmana litav avid. He understood that if God wants his best interest, then even if people try to harm him, it's not going to work. In a number of weeks we read that Paro V'yakom melech hadash al Mitzrayim asher lo yada es Yosef. B'derech drush, some interpret that Paro didn't realize the secret of Yosef. He didn't realize that we find with respect to Yosef, whatever they tried to do to harm him only led to the fact that Yosef was ole ligdula. We can't always understand properly and interpret properly life's events. There's an anecdote related, a tale that's told by Rav Noach Warnberg, alav shalom, in his 48 Ways to Wisdom, of a certain fellow that owned a farm, and he had a horse. And one day the horse runs away, and people tell him, oh, how sad. And the fellow's reaction was, who says that it's sad? And in fact, a number of days later, that horse came back with an additional number of horses. And now he had not one horse, but many horses. And people told him, isn't that wonderful? And the fellow said, I'm not so sure it's wonderful. And in fact, when the fellow's son tried to break in and train those new horses, he fell off a horse and broke his leg. And people's reaction was, how sad. And he said, who says that it's sad? Who says that it's so terrible? And in fact, a number of days later, when the king came and drafted many of the people from that region, they didn't draft the son because he had broken his leg. And in fact, those people that were drafted, many of them were killed, seriously injured. So it's hard for us to interpret life's events, but we do know that God is watching over us. We do know that Kol Maida Abed Rahmana L'Tav Avid. We know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Kel Emunah Ve'ein Avel Tzadik V'Yasharhu. If in fact we adapt this perspective on life, as the Shulchan Aruch tells us we're meant to, in Siman Reish Lamed, at the end of the Siman, La'olam Yehi Ragil Adam Lomar Kol Maida Abed Rahmana L'Tav Avid, will be better Jews, happier people, and be zoche to a higher level of siyata d'shmaya. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Shabbos.